equal to investment is equal to fixed assets plus current assets minus current liabilities. Fixed assets plus current assets minus current liabilities. So if you divide sales by your investment, you get investment turnover. And what is investment?
So fixed is this plus current is this minus current liabilities.
Okay, what else can we say about this? We can also say fixed assets plus net working capital. Because when you subtract current assets from current liabilities, you call it as net working capital. Fixed assets plus net working capital. What is net working capital? Net working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. So the formula is clear? Okay. Now, suppose we calculate investment turnover and our answer is 10. What do we conclude? 10 or 10 times. It is just like somebody has explained fixed assets turnover. If you invest 1 rupee in your fixed assets as well as current assets, after taking into consideration current liabilities, or alternatively, if you invest rupee 1 in fixed assets and in net working capital, you are able to generate its 10 times return. It is rotating, or it is giving you this much of not profit as such. You are making use of it 10 times. So higher the use you make, better it would be for the company. So investment turnover. Then you have next ratio, return on investment. Return on investment is popularly known as ROI in short. It is also known as DuPont analysis. DuPont analysis. Why is it known as DuPont analysis? Any idea what is this DuPont? DuPont is a well-known company, very renowned company, producing from Pinto aeroplane. It's very renowned. This company started using this kind of analysis about 50-60 years ago. So at times this analysis is also known as DuPont analysis. ROI, return on investment, or DuPont analysis. What is this analysis? I'll explain to you in details. I have just seen this slide is available there. So before I proceed, if there are questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll start explaining to you the meaning and the calculation of return on investment. Okay, if no questions, I'll proceed. Return on investment is equal to, look at this second line. What I have written here, ROI is equal to net profit margin multiplied by investment turnover. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. By the way, this figure NPM, also this figure you have already calculated in previous 2 ratios. You have calculated net profit margin, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You
sir.
have also calculated investment turnover.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is net profit margin? In the next line, I have written net profit margin is equal to net profit upon
Sales into 100.
Into 100.
Into 100.
into 100. I'm just avoiding 100 because we are calculating in times. Doesn't matter. Mathematically, it will give you the same result. What is investment turnover? Sales divided by
Investment.
okay. Go step by step. I have mentioned here net profit. What is net profit? Net profit is equal to gross profit minus indirect expense. Correct? What is investment turnover? Sales divided by investment. And what is investment? I have assumed here 2000, but I'll write here formula also like I have written in previous case. Just 1 second. Investment is equal to, just 1 second. Investment is equal to this fixed assets plus net working capital.
Current assets.
No, I have written fixed assets plus net working capital. It is same thing, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Net working capital equal to
Sir?
current assets minus
Yes.
current liabilities.
सर आपने राइट में इन्वेस्टमेंट का फॉर्मूला लिखा है, उसमें फिक्स एसेट प्लस की जगह इक्वल का साइन लगा हुआ
हाँ,
है।
यस, इसको चेंज कर देते हैं पहले, करेक्ट, इसको पहले चेंज कर दिया, एंड हियर इन्वेस्टमेंट का हम चेंज कर रहे हैं, आई एम जस्ट चेंजिंग दी इन्वेस्टमेंट. ओके, आई थिंक इट विल डू लाइक दिस, आई मूव इट हियर. नाउ इन्वेस्टमेंट को इज इक्वल टू, इन्वेस्टमेंट इज इक्वल टू फिक्स एसेट्स प्लस नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल. इसको थोड़ा सा सेल को बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, आई थिंक आई नीड टू इंक्रीज द विड्थ ऑफ सेल. ओके, इसको वो कर देते हैं, कोई मुश्किल नहीं. नो, इट कैन बी यू नो दिस मर्ज हो जाएगा, सेल कैन बी मर्ज्ड. इज इट फाइन नाउ? चलिए,
Yes, sir.
थोड़ा सा कम भी कर देते हैं तो कोई बात नहीं, पर्पज इज शुड बी विजिबल. तो इन्वेस्टमेंट इज इक्वल टू दिस. Now, next, what is net profit margin? Net profit margin I have explained here. Indirect expenses I'll be explaining here. Everything which is mentioned will be written down like this. Gross profit is equal to sales minus direct expenses. Sales is equal to sales minus sales return. Now come to this figure. These direct expenses are like purchases, wages, electricity, excise, and total. This is total. Indirect expenses are rent, salaries, depreciation, advertisement, and miscellaneous. Just stay up to left side of this chart only. So through these figures like 8,000, 1,400, etc., you will be in a position to calculate gross profit. Is that clear or not? Okay. Now come to the right side. In the right side, I have just mentioned the figures related to investment. Investment is equal to fixed assets plus net working capital. So I have mentioned here fixed assets, building, furniture, and machinery. I have mentioned here current assets, cash, bank, investment is short-term, inventories, or you can let me write here stock because it is confusing with investment. So stock. Then we write here this debtors. So these are your current assets. Total is 1,600. Then current liabilities, bank overdraft, creditors, bills payable. Total is 100. Now everything which you require to calculate ROI, first of all, a formula has been provided. Secondly, figures have been provided, and the way it is to be calculated, that too has been provided. If this situation, if these figures are clear, then I'll proceed. I'll explain to you the idea behind writing all these things in this format. Why have I written them like this? That I'll be explaining to you in a short while. At this stage, let me know if the figures mentioned here are clear and the formula mentioned here is also clear.
Yes, sir, clear.
Good. Now assume you all, I hope you are all comfortable using MS Excel.
Yes, sir.
आप में से कोई अगर ऐसा है जिसने MS Excel अभी तक यूज नहीं किया, not just basics, copy, paste, add, deletion, division, nothing more than that. I'm not asking you to go for advanced function, just simple functions like addition, division, subtraction, etc. in MS Excel. Assume that the slide which is appearing on your screen is an Excel worksheet. Okay, so what would likely be this column? ROI is equal to 30%. A, B, C, D, E, F. Could be either F, could be E, something like that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If you assume that an Excel sheet is in front of you, so what will be this column? Naturally, this column where cursor is will be your A. Where sales I have written, it can be your column A. What will be this column?
So B.
What will be this column?
C.
C.
By the time you come here, there will be E, F, G, H, I, J, K, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you think that you have opened an Excel worksheet and you have set up things like I have set up here in this slide. Now you have entered this figure 4,000. These figures you have entered, but when you come to this 8,000, you don't enter. What do?
Sum.
function.
You use, okay. You use any formula, either sum or you highlight these and add, whichever way. But the figures which I have mentioned, which I have typed in bold, these figures are menu driven. These figures are formula driven. You have not entered them. These are the ultimate outcome of this addition. Same holds good for 1400. Same is good for this 1500. Your fixed
Yes, sir.
assets total. Let me write here. Total fixed assets are 1500. Same thing is good for your this total current liabilities also.
Current liabilities.
This 600 is automatic. This 100 is automatic. This 1500 through formula. This all this through formula. Okay. Then move on upside. This 10,000 you have entered, but this 6 and 5 and 600, these are again not entered, but these are formula driven. How are these formula driven? Suppose you wish to find out indirect expenses. You wish to find out gross profit. How would you find out gross profit? Sales. You know the sales figure. You know direct expenses figure. So you will enter a formula. Whatever cell reference is here and whatever cell reference is here, this 600 will be automatically calculated. Similarly, 6 and 5 will also be automatically calculated. Similarly, this 2000 will also be automatically calculated. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How will you do that? You will write here this cell plus this cell minus this cell. It will give you 2000. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now you come to the top page, top line, first line. NPM you have calculated, that is 6. Investment turnover you have calculated. If you use this cell reference multiplied by this cell reference, your answer will be 30%. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, having understood this, you assume that you are sitting in front of an Excel worksheet and you have entered this, you have entered formula, and your answer is 30%. Come to any of those 20, 30 figures I mentioned here. Just let us say we come to this figure and change it from 500 to 499. You are sitting in front of an Excel worksheet and you have changed this figure from 500 to 499. Will this figure change or not?
Yes, sir. It will change.
It will change.
Zero, zero,
It will change. Sir, 0 0 नहीं होगी, but it will change because इसका जो आपका total
It will change.
ID है वो change
Good,
हो
good, good.
जाएगा.
Let's hold
They are
on.
interlinked, sir.
It
It
will
will
change. Okay. Similarly, if you change it from 500 to 501, it will still change.
Yes, sir.
sir.
It will change
It will still
because
change.
value change हो रही है आपकी.
It will change. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 4 and 5, 9, 9 and 3, 12, 12 and 4, 16, 16 and 3, 19, 20, 20. These are 20 figures. I have not taken total. These are 20 figures. The rest are outcome of these 20 figures. Multiplication, division, addition, all. The rest of them all. So in case you make any change in any of these 20 figures, stock from 175, make it 174 or 176. Other values remaining unchanged. It will definitely change this figure. Either it will become more than 30% or it will become less than 30%.
Less than 30%.
You agree to this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the task before you is that as and when, just one second, give me a minute. As and when you are able to get time, that is as and when your classes are over, you sit down with an Excel sheet. You open a file in MS Excel, enter the data of your choice, any data of your choice, correct? After entering data of your choice, just see how do you arrive at the answer. What answer do you get Do you get naturally you will get any percentage when you sit down with an Excel sheet, enter any data, sometime 4,000, 1,200, anything that may come to your mind. Your answer will be you will get some or the other answer. Is the part that you have to attempt clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There are certain precautions to be taken while assuming. You will be assuming data, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what will be the precautions that should be taken before assuming data?
Sales could not be zero.
जी जोर से बताइए.
So
Question.
sales zero नहीं होनी चाहिए.
Sorry.
So sales should not be zero.
Correct. Very true. Sales should not be zero. ठीक है. और बताइए.
So sales should be higher than purchases so that we get
Sales should be okay. Okay. Sales should be higher than purchases. Correct. Or
even direct expenses should be no, sorry.
So same as sales, investment should also not be zero.
Investment should also not be zero. If it is zero, what will happen?
So not defined आएगा sir.
Infinity answer आ जाएगा जो anything divided by zero.
Yes, sir.
और बताइए. So you have understood it by and large. The data assumed should be such which seems to be reasonable, which seems to be closer to reality. If you assume sales as 10,000 and total expenses as 12,000, no harm in assuming, but there will be loss. And your ROI will be positive or negative.
So it will be negative.
The negative.
So mathematically, it doesn't matter. It can be negative also.
But sir, it will show the business that the business is in loss, not in
तो
profit.
क्या हुआ
because-
क्या हुआ तो बिजनेस लॉस में नहीं होती क्या?
But it's, I think it will show a negative impact of the company and no.
But this is all assumed data. You are not. See, my question was, you assume data which is closer to reality. आप negative दिखाइए profit. The purpose क्या है? Purpose ये है कि we are trying to explain how does it matter when various figures change. Now look at its managerial implications. More than mathematics. What change do you see in this calculation compared to net profit ratio or gross profit ratio? Do you see some change in this when it comes to your decision making? What change is there? No, nothing to do with ROI. No, not ROI. Just like that, I'm asking. You have calculated net profit ratio. Correct. You have calculated gross profit ratio. In what way does this calculation differ? In what way? Suppose I say the net profit ratio of a company is 15%, and I say that ROI is 19%. So in what way, which information is more comprehensive, or which information will take you will help you taking a better decision?
ROI.
Correct. ROI.
So because it's involving both investment and profit, net profit.
Say it again.
So because it is involving both investment and net profit.
Yes, it is involving. If you simply concentrate on net profit ratio. Suppose I'm changing the slide a bit. If you just say about net profit, here we wrote, I have deleted that. Net profit is 10%. So you do not know if this net profit has been earned at what cost, what resources were provided to the company. Here it is taking everything into consideration. So this is one thing that you have understood. Another aspect that you will do once this calculation is over in step number 1, you have calculated it in one ratio. You copy this into 5 different sheets. When you open a file in Excel, you have several sheets. You copy that into 5 sheets. Same data you copy into 5 sheets. change one figure, not by 1 rupee. It was just given as an example. Change one figure by a reasonable amount and see its effect on ROI. In the next sheet, change another figure and see its effect. Yet in another worksheet, you continue changing one or the other figure and observe the changes in ROI. It will either increase or it will decrease. Is the task?
Sir,
Yes.
so the data can be changed either from the direct expenses or from indirect expenses. It is up to us, right?
If you are changing data, if you
Yes,
will be
sir.
changing data, it will require more efforts. What I am saying, that you prepare one solution, one based on certain assumptions, some assumed data, you make one sheet. Thereafter, copy the same data into another sheet and change one figure. You will see change in ROI.
Yes, sir.
In another sheet, you change another figure, you will again see change in ROI.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you increase, sometimes you decrease, sometimes you change rent figure, sometimes you change cash figure, sometimes you change debtors figure, sometimes you change, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you will have 5 worksheets in one file. In each file, some changes in ROI as a result of changing one or the other figure. Is this part clear?
Yes, sir.
Once it is clear, then under each step, you write what are your observations. For example, you may say, if we have changed cash from 175 to 200, our ROI has increased or decreased, and this is the logic. Similarly, in another sheet, I have changed rent figure from 500 to 1000, and it has resulted in ROI this, and this is the reason. Or this is what I have learned from it. Is this part clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what you will be required to do, because tomorrow, perhaps I'm not really sure. It depends on the kind of work that I'll be attending to. May not be able to take time out to engage your classes. Tomorrow I'll try. Maybe if I can, while traveling or while finding some place, if I can use conduct the class using this mobile phone. Otherwise, if not, then up to Sunday, I'll not be able to engage the class. I'll compensate only officially. So as per timetable, only one class will be missed. That is tomorrow. Tomorrow's also I'll try to engage. If not, then this I'll engage somewhere else. But you have enough of time. I will post certain assignments there in the Google Classroom. Then you post it there. But at the same time, you should also attach the Excel file, not the PDF one. PDF you can do, but you also must have a record of your Excel file.
Yes, sir.
Yes, some question?
So I was just acknowledging that.
Okay, good enough. Now, when I say, because all of you will be assuming data of your own, so there is the least probability that 2 solution will be the same, isn't it? Number 1,
Yes, sir.
you are all assuming 20 figures. So no 2 students can assume all 20 figures same, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If they do so, what will be your conclusion?
So they have copied the data.
They have copied the
the
assignment.
assignments.
And what will be the implication of that?
0 marks.
So 0 marks.
0 marks.
So maybe negative.
Maybe negative. Dushyant ne kaha maybe. See, I am really not bothered about lesser or more marks. Naturally, it is your concern. What bothers me more is the absence of, ethical practices. It doesn't matter you obtain 70% or 71%. Or does it really matter? Okay, it may matter for some time, 71 or 69 or 68 or 72% temporarily. After 5 years down the line, will somebody ever ask your mark sheet?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Isn't it? No one would ask. Initially people may. Now I
initially.
even do not know where is my mark sheet is placed.
So because you have already reached a position that people know you by your name, not by your marks or percentage.
See, I am saying gradually. After
Yes,
5 years,
sir.
nobody would. So why should we, by the way, copy it? You do it. If you do it wrong, I'll make the corrections. But if you copy and paste from somebody, no. So that is what I was insisting, that you better post on Google Classroom as a PDF, but save your Excel file also. I'll be asking you to email me your Excel version. When all can be combined or through some other means, it can be found out if all answers or one or more than one answers are correct. Okay, let me come back to another important question that I'm leaving you with. Then I'll move on to some other aspect. If you look at the data which is available, what all is available in it? You have got income side of profit loss account, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You have expense side of profit loss account, of course with limited items. You have income side of profit loss account like sales. You have expense side of profit loss account like rent and purchases,
Rent
etc.
and purchases.
Okay. So profit loss account, both sides have been taken care of. When you come to balance sheet, you have asset side of balance sheet.
And
within-
liabilities.
No, these are asset side, building, furniture, machinery. In liability side, you have only current liabilities, but long-term liabilities are missing from the balance sheet. Is my observation correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you know the answer, do not post this answer in the group. Do not post the answer in the group. Post it in my personal, on my personal number, privately. If I say, in spite of the fact that liability side of the balance sheet is not being represented here, liabilities figure are missing in this Excel sheet, and yet we are saying that it is a very, very comprehensive measure of determining the profitability of a company. It is complete in all respect, despite the fact that liabilities are missing. So if you know the answer, or if you can know the answer, post me privately and without discussing with others. Let them also apply their mind. If you can, okay. If not, I'll explain to you.
Sir,
Why
can
is
you
it that in spite of no
Sir, can you
represent-
please type the question in the chat box?
I'll do that. Good.
Thank you, sir.
I'll do that. No issues. I'll do that. ROI is considered the comprehensive measure of profitability. There are no long-term liabilities present in the calculations, yet we call it comprehensive. Why is it so? I have typed, I will be just correcting the spelling mistakes. Major profitability. Typing sometimes, okay. So, एक second, hold, just 1 second. Just give me a sec, somebody. All right. So I have typed and I am posting it also. Read it carefully. Give me a minute break. I'll come back and then explain to you what the question was. Have you seen the posting in the chat box?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the question is clear to all of you? Or you need some clarification in the question itself? The question is simple. Okay, this data which is available in front of you, it has only 3/4, 75% of the balance sheet data. It does not have 100%. Still, how do we maintain that it gives you a very comprehensive measure of profitability? I am leaving you here. You think over it and post privately. We move on. What we move on now, let me see what is there in the next slide. Okay, this aspect we will take later, not now. This will require a continuous discussion for about 15-20 minutes. Yes, just 1 second. Yes, it requires continuous discussion of some longer time duration. So I'll take it up later. Let me know if there are questions up to whatever I have discussed so far.
Will we not study EPS, DPS?
Okay, good. You have reminded. Fine. Time is good enough to complete them. So under profitability ratios, there are more what I mentioned here in this slide, serial number 5. EPS. EPS stands for earning per share. Earning per share. So if you divide total profit, net profit after taxes and after paying everything, especially the taxes, if you divide net profit after paying taxes by the number of shares by number of common shares or number of equity shares, they are also known as ordinary shares, you get EPS, earning per share. For each share, how much you are earning. So what will you do? Net profit after taxes divided by number of shares will you your EPS. And what is DPS? It is dividend per share. It is dividend per share. So if company pays dividend, so whatever dividend it pays, if it is divided by number of shares, you get a figure which is known as a dividend per share. Suppose EPS for a company is ₹5. What does it mean? For every share, company is earning ₹5. And suppose DPS is 6. So what does it mean?
The company is giving dividend ₹6 per share.
I was expecting this question from you based on your previous experience. The net profit cannot be less than gross profit, or gross profit cannot be less than net profit, or in other case, your quick ratio cannot be more than like that. These are all based on your based on this memory in your this mind. I was expecting this answer from you. Suppose I say that whatever I have written is correct. I stand by that what I have written. I am receiving some messages from the students. Okay, anything else? Suppose I say it is correct. I have received some. Okay, I'll come back to. I have received few messages. It needs clarification. All right. Suppose I maintain that what I'm saying is correct. If EPS is 5, DPS could be even 10. DPS could be 20. How do you react to this?
So that means the company is giving out more than they are earning per share. So that means they are probably in a loss.
वो तो और बिल्कुल उल्टा हो जाएगा. ज़्यादा कैसे पे कर सकते हैं कि लॉस में होंगे तो? All right. Once again, I am leaving you with a question mark. Think over it. People from commerce should be able to answer it easily. Or you look at the balance sheet, you will be able to, balance sheet of any company, you will be able to answer it correct. You will be able to accept it. EPS can be 5 and DPS can be, or in other words, we can say DPS can also be, can, not always, can be more than EPS. Ethically, morally, legally, it is always possible to have more DPS than EPS. Ordinarily, it does not happen. In 70-80% cases, EPS will be lesser than, DPS will be lesser than EPS, but it is also very much legally possible that DPS is more than EPS. Again, I am leaving you with the question. If you know, post the answers, but definitely remind me. I'll answer you. How is it possible? All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We can.
Yes, sir.
Let me. I'll post it in the chat box, and you remember it. How is it possible to have more DPS than EPS? Isn't it? This is what I have explained. Oh, sorry. This is what I have posed the question. How is it possible to have more DPS than EPS? All right, you remember it, and then we will meet maybe either tomorrow or then on Monday, inshallah. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
leave the meeting
Thank you,
now
sir.
Thank you,
because
sir.
you need to join another class.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have a query.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, I have a query. We
Good,
have
please
to
go ahead. Go ahead.
yes, sir. See, for the assignment, we are